Working lap 35 in the Amp Energy 500 at Talladega. NASCAR's fastest stock car facility. Right now we are showing cars single file 40. Make that 39 as one car goes a lap down here as they come by. That is the 13 of Max Pappas. 07 car, Casey Mears being shown as our leader. Mears has now led 15 laps. We've had 6 different leaders and 8 lead changes. Now look at these cars in line. Look at the visibility through the windshield.
Yeah, the windshields really get pitted up here. Probably have as many tear-offs here on the windshield to start with as anywhere else do we go because of all of this, and it makes it very difficult for the drivers. See on Michael Waltrip's car there, watch what happens if a piece you can see it just fly away. So down at the bottom, it had just started to peel up a little bit, and the air turbulence there in the draft.
Yeah, that's great.
Made him a clean windshield all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's great for Michael. He gets to see better, but that windshield tear-off can actually get caught on somebody's front bumper or front grill opening. Now you see what happens there when that tear-off comes off. That's actually our camera lens. It has a cover over very similar to those tear-offs you see on the windshield, and we can roll it with a button push there and clear it off.
Yeah, there were times that I wasn't sure I wanted to take off. I wanted to see exactly what was going on or if I was better with things clouded a little bit.
Well, they're single file up front, guys. Let's go down and check in with some of our experts downstairs. Rusty and Ray, what you're watching down there, these guys making sure they're not going to get penalized by pushing in the corners.
Yeah, there's a lot of them being careful out there, too. That was their plan going into it, Doc. But the guys I see out there trying to get all the glory, you talk about Mears and Stremme, Marcus Ambrose, guys like that are not in this chase for the championship. Hey, man, they don't care. They want to win. They want to run up front. They want to keep their car on TV. And you know what? It's working for those guys right now.
Yeah, what we're going to see is pit stops here in the next 5 or 7 laps, and that should break some of that pack up. I think what you'll start to see is some of the old-style Talladega racing here where 5 or 6 cars break away right now.
I just wonder if they're not being too conservative. I mean, how do they know what their car is going to do? I will tell you, I'm watching the times out there, and the first 22 cars are almost running identical speeds. And as a racer, I tell you, it's hard for me to be this patient when I was in the car, to sit there, mind your P's and Q's, and just follow a guy that long. I got to believe after this first series of pit stops that these guys are going to get a little racier out there.
Oh, I hope so. I want to see these guys mix it up a little bit. I don't want to see everybody line up and ride around behind one another all day long. Let's get the racing a little bit.
Look at the front of the leader's car, the bottom of the 07, right to the right side.
A little piece of trash.
Might be where one of those tear-offs ended up.
Yeah.
Across the leader's grill. Andy, you seeing that same thing?
Yeah, I see it. I see all this stuff going on you guys are talking about. I see Brad. He's talking about running single file. Brad, your car's running 5th. I don't see him stepping out of line either. Get on him, man.
Mix them up.
So let's go racing.
47 cars, the one you're talking about, Marcus Ambrose. And by the way, Marcus only run here once. He finished 4th here back in April. Machine right behind him. You heard Rusty talking about David Stremme trying to find a ride. Stremme will be out of that 12 car at the end of the year. Brad Keselowski assuming that ride. And where's Stremme going to go? Boy, I tell you, he's really hungry to get to victory lane.
Yeah, he really needs to. This is a good opportunity for a lot of guys out there today. And, you know, the way to really get some attention is get out there and try to lead some laps. I want to see these guys mix it up a little bit.
The 11 car we were talking about earlier in the week, and in the garage area, guys are saying he's going to be the guy to beat. Denny Hamlin had one of, if not the fastest cars here in practice on Friday. Look where he is in this line, folks. He is back in 23rd position.
We won't know what he has until it's time to show his cards.
No, and we're going to get to that point, but it's going to be much later. And, you know, there was something that happened here many, many years ago that is kind of a forbidden term, a driver boycott, you know. But I think this is kind of these guys' answer. They don't have any other way of expressing how they like or did as we start green flag pit stops here. But these guys are saying, okay, if this is what we can and can't do, then this is the kind of racing that we're going to do right now.
Here's Vickers, Montoya, Truex, and Logano, the first 4 among the lead contenders to come on pit road here. They got to slow down to 55 miles an hour. Shannon.
Juan Pablo Montoya driving the same car that he sat on the pole here with earlier this year. They have a lot of confidence in this car. 4-tire change on this 42 car. Dave.
Brian Vickers is on pit road as well. They talked about just a 2-tire change. They also talked about pitting with some other cars who might be on the same agenda. Joey Logano as well. He takes 2. They're both off pit road.
Logano, the first one off. And by the way, these 2 cars here, the 1 and 42, are teammates. They're partners. Here come more down pit road. A couple of Childress cars coming down together.
And you see Marcus Ambrose coming in there. also. These guys have kind of set this up to try to pit together. Jamie?
And Casey Mears running in the front with his teammate behind him. First pit stop with this new crew chief, Doug Randolph. A tear-off, you saw come off there in 4 tires. Car has been good. He's just thrilled he's had a buddy. Let's go to Vince.
Kevin Harvick in the 29 car likes the way it feels early, particularly behind his partner there in the 07 of Casey Mears. They're making a 4-tire change here for Kevin Harvick. The 47 of Marcus Ambrose is in as well, and Ambrose has been running up toward the front. He's going to make a 4-tire change and off and away just behind the 29.
Got to have those dancing partners, got to have drafting partners at Talladega. That's why you see the Earnhardt Ganassi cars and the Richard Childress cars pitting together. All in the one car, too fast entering pit road. A costly mistake for Martin Truex.
Yeah, especially at this point in the race because you're not trying to make up any spots. And here Martin Truex getting penalized.
And the 07 coming in another. Sam Hornich is there. Biffle, let's go to the 99. Jamie.
And Carl Edwards pitted earlier. The tear-off comes off there. These cars have been handling great, guys. It's just about getting that fresh rubber. It's about coming in with the pack and leaving with the pack. Vince?
The 5-car of Mark Martin had been running up toward the front early and then got shuffled back. They make a 4-tire change. And let's go to Dave in the 88.
A wedge adjustment for Dale Earnhardt Jr., 4 tires and fuel from Sunoco. And also, Casey Kane had wanted to pit on that lap, but he got trapped. Let's see if he has anybody to pit with before they run out in the 9-car.
They trying to hustle off pit road. That makes Elliott Sadler the leader. Now driving a Ford today. A Yates Ford. Elliott, all 3 of his wins have come in Fords. There's the 9-car coming down. And the 2-car of Kurt Busch.
Yeah, if you're wondering, we're talking about handling, it's not really an issue. Why are they putting 4 tires on? It's because they have to put 2 cans of fuel in. They can change 4 tires, about the same amount of time. Vince?
Kurt Busch is in. He's pitted just ahead of where Mark Martin had pitted, so they wanted Martin to get in and out before the 2-car came. It's a 2-tire stop for the 2 of Kurt Busch.
Handling not an issue for Casey Kane, full of fuel, and a 2-tire stop for him. And little trouble getting it. He wanted to put more fuel in it, of course. That's why he waited. He'll lead with Kurt Busch as well.
You're right there. You see why you would take 4 tires. It took over 12 and a half seconds to get 2 cans of fuel in that race car, and most teams can change 4 tires in that amount of time.
Here are the guys that are serving penalties. They are pass-through penalties for speeding.
I was under. I was like middle of green. I didn't even use all of it.
Also, we're just being told that Eric Darnell, the 96 car, too fast on exit. He will be penalized and have to serve a lengthy 55-mile-an-hour pass-through penalty when everybody else is running about 195. Left side of your screen, see these guys all working together. A couple of dodges, the 2 and the 9. Here are the guys that have also pitted that are working together in this pack to be able to use the draft to get back up there.
Yeah, and you can see right there, Elliott Sadler in that 19 is the leader. You see a lot of cars in front of him now on the tail end of the lead lap. You see Dale Earnhardt Jr. now running right in front of Elliott Sadler. Mark Martin is now a lap down to Elliott.
We mentioned Elliott in a Ford. He'll go back to a Dodge for the final 3 events of the year. But this team, remember the Richard Petty Motorsports merger with Yates. They'll be in Fords in all of 2010.
And they pitted on lap 6. That's why they're able to stay out just a little bit longer.
And here's the only car on pit road. Very lonely when you don't have a drafting partner.
Well, hopefully he can get off of pit road now and get with a lot of cars that just pitted. That's what they're thinking right here. And he's hoping that he can do that. The best way to do it is to pit with cars, and you know you can come off the racetrack and on the track with them. But he's rolling the dice a little bit that he'll be able to blend back on the racetrack with help.
Reed Sorensen coming off right side of your screen. Now watch the top of your screen. Here comes the drafting pack. He's going to have to get up to speed in a hurry because they're coming at over 195 miles an hour. These guys flashing by the 77 cars headed to the garage area. Here comes the 18 and the 11, a couple of Joe Gibbs Racing teammates. Vince.
Well, the 18 of Kyle Busch had come in on lap 8, remember, so he was able to stay out just a little bit longer than the others if necessary, so he's taking those extra laps. He says he likes the high line a little bit better. It's a 4-tire change for Kyle Busch. Dave.
Denny Hamlin pretty happy with his race car. 1 round up in the left rear wedge. A 4-tire change for Hamlin. Otherwise, just full.
Yeah, there's no reason not to get 4 tires right there. Again,
the challenge, you got to get off before this pack comes roaring by. and they're going to go by these guys that just came off of pit road.
Yeah, we just saw Reed Sorensen get back out in front of the big pack, and he actually maybe got out too far. We've got a car spun around here getting on pit road.